Okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. You know, toxic car culture, the exclusion of women from car communities, and gay men. Legitimately. You know, it never used to matter before, but it does now. And then and again, I have to include Subaru in on this, but because like Subaru is this champion of gay people because of previous marketing that saved the company. But when you I just can't stand that. I appreciate Vermont sports car improving the image of performance because engineering is about performance and capability. It's not about identity politics. Okay, particular cars are not to be identified with a lifestyle, right? Or they're tools, utilitarian tools, for the most part, and objects of passion and desire when they get to the higher tiers. You know, like I'm trying to do for myself, make myself into a person of desire and passion, as I've always been. So if I'm becoming more abrasive in this pursuit back to my original personality before all this and identity politics and the self censoring and the basically the Jerry syndrome, the weakness. Let's put it like that. Just willing to please anybody and everybody just to keep my job, just to keep my money, my income intact. Just to have cars. And oh, don't say anything too offensive. Don't say anything that's gonna rock the boat. But this censorship and this the culture at large, it has an unintended consequence, and that's actually silencing the victims because they can't express themselves. That's the angle that I'm taking here, and that's how I'm because I myself, I've been taken advantage of by very bad people, who weren't always bad in some cases, but this is just the fact of the matter. Okay. And the toxic behaviors are psychopathic. That's the way it is. They're sociopathic, psychopathic. And I'm gonna burn the Ontario Legacy Group. I'm gonna burn them because of through provocation and trying to make things a little bit more interesting instead of, because talking about cars all the time is fucking boring. It really is. And I know if you want to have more women in the group, then you can't just talk about cars all the time. Women want to talk about more than just cars. I want to talk about more than just cars. I don't want to have to stand around a fucking stupid car meet and just look at, oh, there's this, there's that mod, there's this mod, there's that mod. Oh, look at my status. Look how big my dick is. You want to go into the back parking lot around the corner and give each other a Dutch rudder or something along those lines. It's just the tuning culture too. Unfortunately, has turned really it has turned into toxic homosexuality. Let's put it like that. Um, and I don't like the perception and the jokes, that are associated with Subaru because of the previous touting and appeal, and this bowing down, this worshiping of lesbians in the early 80s, or not early 80s, late 90s. And I don't know why I'm saying early 80s, because Subaru's brand identity was originally something pragmatic, very pragmatic cars, you know um, farmers cars almost, and that's the English perception before the rally scene arrived. And I don't like the propaganda. I don't. Why am I being abrasive? Why am I being aggressive? Because there's the radicalized gay people. We're so aggressive and we're so in your face and we're so and are still in some regards. There's just some seriously disgusting imagery out there and degenerate behavior that is associated with pride parades. And again, I've told you my stories and stuff like that. And how a rainbow used to be innocent. It used to mean something. The different. Now I look at it like a hate symbol. I look at the gay pride flag as a hate symbol towards straight people, because there's so much of this special treatment. Show me who we can't criticize, and I'll show you who rules over us, who's in power. And you can't criticize gay people. You can't. You can't say certain things. And just like same with BLM, you can't criticize them. You can't say nigger. But I'm gonna keep on saying it for the liberation of the word, because it just describes an attitude. And some people would look at me and say, oh, there's a white nigger, right? There's a man that works, all the time, every day, however he can, to do something with his life, right? Works like a slave. There's a different connotation where it was of a power dynamic, but now, if you work like a slave, right? That's almost admirable. Look at CEOs and entrepreneurs, and they're working 60, 70 hours, and then some people admire that, but that's psychopathic behavior, right? In some regard, not knowing when to stop, not knowing when to walk away. So when I flash a drawing, an anatomical drawing of a woman's vulva, right? Her genitalia, her labia, her her clitoris, her vaginal opening, her urethra hole, whatever, and then her asshole with the legs like this from a medical textbook, you know. And then I can tell when a gay man is radicalized, because he doesn't want to look at a pussy. He doesn't want to see a drawing of a pussy at all. Some people look at pussies and they're disgusting, and I'm like, why would you think a pussy is disgusting? Why? We all come from one. It's simple. Hating women is stupid. Hating women's behavior is legitimate, um, because there's toxic behaviors in all of us, and I recognize some in myself, which I've tried to do away with. Excuse me, having some accountability to myself and my previous behaviors, because subjectivity is something you learn. Oh, it's the means of manipulation, right? And women can be, especially stupid women, can be extremely manipulative, right? I'm going to keep hammering on this. Weak people manipulate, strong people negotiate, and that's it, right? Here's that joke again. Names and dates, names and dates, names and dates, right? Um, because this culture, this diversity culture, again, it's doublespeak. Inclusivity and diversity is exclusivity and homogeny, because there's this crazy part of the mentality that some gay men have, right? When it comes to surrogacy, and it comes down to fertility, and it comes down to adoption, right? We're trying to have artificial wombs with these developments, right? This is science fiction. I remember this, and I was like, this is really weird. This is queer. Queer is all else. It used to mean weird. Um, Now it doesn't. Now I look at the weird queer, and I'm like, that person's messed up in the head, because simplicity is the path to wealth, right? It's better to have an easier and simpler life than it is to have more complications. And when people place material goods and status, and will get on their knees to suck a dick, frankly, and to advance themselves, or will kill people for money, right? I'm in the middle of John Wick, past couple of days. So material goods over people, cars over people, right? This braggadocio, this insecurity, this jealousy, this attempt, and this, and then the suicidal behavior associated with not having very good financial skills, and these are all toxic behaviors and demanding way too much of others when they don't put the work in themselves. And I know there's a more than a couple of tuners out there that will agree with me, because the people just want more and more and more, and they don't listen. And when they don't listen, because they just think that they can swing their dick around, and they don't do any of the actual dirty work, they don't understand what it takes. Um, that they have this elitist attitude that I'm the one staying clean, I'm the one that has the money, I'm the one that has the power, you're the one getting dirty, you're the one expending your body, etc., 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 etc. And I say this as a mechanic, because there are people out there that are like that. They don't have gratitude, they don't have any humility. And again, I'm gonna go after the I'm gonna go after this. I'll put this in bits and bytes. Again, I'll label it toxic car culture, because of Tama, Finland, right? This it exists, right? The high risk, again, auto racing attracts people who are seeking glory and recognition and dominance. This competition, competitive aspect of car culture, and racing, that establishes, through meritocracy, which all comes down to getting, in a lot of cases, getting the women. At least that's the way it was. It used to be a hobby, right? It used to be a hobby, and you could take your wife out, go for a Sunday drive. This isn't all that far behind. But I look at young people, and I look at car culture, and I look at the lack of willingness to assist, and to put their own money down, uh, to help someone else. And I would give the shirt off my back to someone else if they needed it. I've done things for other people, and I basically asked for nothing to do it. And I've gone to the ends of the country for basically nothing. I've broken my body, my mental health, to make money and make a living. And I'm not special in that regard, but I'm putting my foot down with this, and my tolerance and my love has a limitation. And I don't want to continue to see people of the same belief system, and it's very lonely to have principles and to have honor and to have courage, you know and I've gone through periods where I wanted to do nothing. I wanted to have nothing with the rest of the world. And this is what happens within car communities, is that drama happens because people are fucking stupid. That's the truth. The people within the automotive community are fucking stupid. And, I say that with a grain of salt, but, you know, there just doesn't seem to be very many good ones anymore. You know, that's the end of it, unless you're willing to get on your knees and suck their dicks, and you're willing to go with the flow. You're willing to bend over backwards with uh, the quiet culture, right? The self censorship. And to some people, oh, it's just a car hobby. It's just something to do. But I'm like, no, it's a means of expression, right? Cars are rolling pieces of art. They're an expression, and they are causality, not causality, correlation, and of the culture at large. And so, when I'm gonna reference regular car reviews, whether you like it or not, buddy. I recognize and respect your work, even if we don't see eye to eye all the time. Um, but these observations are valid, right? I am true. I am valid. I deserve. more than the treatment that I get, uh, because of what I've done for other people and what I've done without braggadocio, and the lengths that I've gone, because aviation is a service, and the public at large has no idea what it is to be an aircraft mechanic. You know, automotive mechanics have no fucking clue. You know, heavy equipment guys and diesel mechanics are more in line with what I have to do than the auto guys, and that's why I make more money. That's why I have more toys. It's just a means. I say it's not a means. It's just a matter of fact. And so when I if someone can't take um, seeing an illustration of what's between a woman's legs, and I put it into the chat, I stand by it. I'm not backing down. I'm not backing down from the cartoon of the gay dumpster fire, because that's what it is now. Gay rights is a dumpster fire. The psychopaths, just like they did with BLM and with Antifa, took all the money and ran away, and then burned all the people below them, and now it's a joke, right? If we're gonna put it like that, that's the way it always goes. That's the Machiavellian rise to power, and the prince. That's what you do. I have no intention of burning. I already have actually. If I've burned the toxic behaviors, I'm not burning people. Again, through psychology and the human relations, because I've been around good and bad gay people. It doesn't phase me, you know. But the language and the thoughts that encourage radicalization does, because I'm not interested in conflicts. I'm interested in ending them before they begin, because that's the smartest thing to do. As my Taekwondo teacher taught me all those years ago, don't get into fights, but if you do, end them quickly as soon as possible and run away. Get it done and over with, and get the fuck out.